anyone here ever been in love? Maybe. Okay. So when you're in love, you're gazing at each other's eyes, and nothing else exists. It's only the person that you love. And this is like hypnosis, isn't it? When you're in hypnosis, when you're hypnotized by something, you're only focusing on that thing, and all the world around it dissolves. So this is like that when you're in love. So not a long time ago, I was in Switzerland in a very romantic restaurant, and there was a couple who were in love. And they look just like that. So if once we were in love and we were looking at and gazing at each other's eyes, today we're in love with screens. So I just wanted to make a short reminder that if you have phones with you, so just put them aside and put it in silence mode. And that's just a short reminder. And since I'm from Tel Aviv and you're from London, you're much more polite than me, so I'm sure I don't need to remind you to take care of that.
Some ringing noise, maybe the glass or
Oh, could be. The glass. And now? Because the chain, I need it. So I need to take it off. Okay, sorry. Should be a dramatic thing. Okay. So my name is Talya Green, and I'm a clinical psychologist and a hypnotherapist for 25 years. I live and work in Tel Aviv. I have my own private practice there. I also teach in Tel Aviv University and in the Hypnotic Society of Israel. I teach also in Toronto in the Hypnotic Society there. And today what we're going to do, I'm going to tell you my personal story, what happened to me and how is it connected to hypnosis. And since this is not a talk that is aimed for the professional audience, just for a general audience, so we'll just talk a little bit about what is hypnosis, what it's not, and the most important things, I will try to give you some tips at the short time that we're having fun together on how you can apply it yourself. So if you have questions, so I suggest we keep it for the last part of the talk, so we'll have some time for Q&A. And in between, we're going to have a 15 minutes break, so you can have some beer and relax and practice some hypnosis and then go back and we'll talk a bit more. Okay, so 25 years ago, I gave birth to my twin daughters. And then I found myself in a strange room attached to all kinds of strings and hearing beeps and attached to oxygen. So apparently I found myself in ECU. And I was told that my heart was not beating, almost not beating. So my heart went from a normal function to a function of 20%. Have you ever seen an echo, or heart echo, how it looks? Who has seen a heart echo? You've seen one? So you see the heart contracts, right? So the heart is a muscle and it contracts. You can see how it contracts. And my heart did something like that. It hardly contracted. The muscle wouldn't work. And I was told it's called peripartum cardiomyopathy, which is a very, very rare disease. And what happens is that in 50% of the cases, the people who has it die. And the other 50% who survive, they stay crippled for the rest of their life. You cannot really heal and become well again. This is what the doctor said. And I understood that I had two choices, either to die, which was very easy because the doctor thought I need a heart transplant. They already put me on the list for a heart transplant, or to live. And if I would live, I want to live good. I want to be healthy because I have twins that I want to raise them. So I want to be able to be with them and play with them and so on. And then I started to act rationally. I decided that I will put the fears aside and use all the tools that I study as a psychologist. I was then a young psychologist. And I started to focusing on fixing. Did you say fixing or mending? Mending my heart? Could you say that? Okay. So, and then naturally fears are coming in. Okay, so what I did, I entered a trance state. We will later talk about what is a trance state, light trance state. And I was starting to imagine my heart muscle, and I was starting to imagine the next day that I will wake up, I will see the sunlight, and I will get to see my daughters. So I went to a light trance, and I started to imagine my heart contracting, the muscle contracting. And all the time I was focusing on that. And when other thoughts came and disturbed me, like fears and so on, I just moved all the time my concentration and tried to focus and focus and focus again on that. And I'll tell you a little secret. I had dwarfs. Do you remember Snow White and the 7 dwarfs? Okay, so she had like cute 7 dwarfs. And as a child, I imagined a lot of time these dwarfs, and they were helping me in all sorts of situations, and they strengthened me. And now I call those dwarfs. Okay, so it may sound funny or it may sound imaginary, but that's exactly it. We are talking here about the subconscious mind and how to convince our subconscious mind, how to talk to the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind has a different language. It uses metaphors, it uses symbols, it uses imagination, and so on. So this was the language I talked to my subconscious. This was the metaphor that was talking to me. So I gave each and one of them a role. One of them was pumping blood into my heart muscle, and one of them was giving me strength, and each and one of them has the role. And it worked. In the morning I saw the sunlight, and then I saw my girls. They were premature, so they were in another floor. I was in 8th floor in intensive care unit. They were in -1 floor. They have to take me with all the oxygen and everything in the elevator, but we succeeded, and then I saw them. And when I saw them, of course, it helped my heart to vibrate even better. So that happened every day and day. Every day I did the same ritual again and again. I was focusing on my heart. I was focusing on my heart muscle. Sometimes I did it very deep. I got into a deep trance and did it for a long time, and sometimes I did it just in short waves. And I did it every day until a month and a half later, I left the hospital. My heart got better. Indeed, it wasn't still in a normal state, but I was better. I could walk a little bit. And this is me with my twin daughters when I left the hospital. You can still see that I'm a little bit swollen because my heart still didn't work so well. But I was released from the hospitals, and the doctors were amazed. They say, we don't understand how you did that. Nobody does that. It's probably doctors, when they see something like that, they say either it's a medicine miracle, or it could be they were wrong in the diagnosis, or it could be some kind of remission that they cannot understand. So they published the case and they wrote papers about it. And I remember Professor Lotani was the head of the cardiac in the hospital. So I remember he told me, Talya, this is a miracle. I don't believe it happened. And I told him, Chaim, I think it has something to do with what I did. I don't think it's just a miracle that just happened like that. And I will try to find out what happened here, because I think this is very important for me to understand. So, and then we also became friends, This is Professor Lotan, and every year I would come to visit him. Here I brought one of my daughters to visit. Until today, he has the picture of the twins in his office. So, and then I started reading a lot of material, and then I understood that it has a name. It's called hypnosis, or if to be more accurate, what kind of hypnosis was it? Self-hypnosis, exactly, because I did it to myself. I didn't go to see a hypnotherapist, right? So it was a self-hypnosis. And I was fascinated by the subject, so I decided I'm going to learn it. So I went to the medicine school in Tel Aviv University. I enrolled and I studied it for 2 years. And then I had the certificate and I started working with patients. And it's very interesting. You can really see how the subconscious work and how sometimes you can really heal people or help them heal themselves, because I believe that every hypnosis is actually self-hypnosis. You're guiding the person, but he heals himself. You're helping him to find, again, the equilibrium in the body, because our equilibrium always wants us to come to a homeostatic state and to be well again. This is what our body wants. This is what our mind wants. Sometimes we have interference in the way. Okay, so I developed a method that is combined with positive psychology and with hypnosis, and it's called I Optimize, because it's like I optimize my mind, because this way we can use other parts of our mind and we can really optimize our mind. But what other word is hidden here except of optimization? What do you see here? I, right? I optimize, so I do it, and mind, exactly, and optimism. Because this is very, very important. It's like a vehicle. So if we want the vehicle to work good, so if we build it good and if we do the optimization, it's working well. But hope and optimism and resiliency, all those things, this is what gives us, this is like the engine, this is like the fuel, this is what gives us the purpose and the force to go forward. And what gave me the purpose and what gave meaning to my life and what caused me to have the strength and to want to heal was my daughters. And I think that the first step for each and every one of us when we want to heal something or cure something, whether it's something mental or something physical, we need to find the meaning. We need to ask, why do we want to cure it? What is the meaning of that? And when we connect it to our heart, we connect the brain to the heart, this will work better. So maybe you could think to yourself, why are you here? Why did you come to this talk? And what do you want to learn from this evening that we're spending together? So now, let's try something, okay? So I will ask you to stand up and raise your arms just like that, with your palms facing up, and straighten your arms, exactly. Now you might wonder what it's like, and maybe you've seen stage hypnosis, so you wonder, what am I going to do to you? So I'm not going to make you bark like a dog or cluck like a duck. I'm also not asking you to hand me your wallet. We'll just do a small exercise, okay? So just close your eyes and focus on one of your palms, one of your arms, and just imagine you have a very heavy book. And this very heavy book is on your palm, and you can feel the weight. And you can even smell the paper, the smell of good paper of a book. And then you feel the weight, and then you feel your arm is getting a little bit more heavy, and then a little bit more, and then heavier and heavier and heavier. Now you can open your eyes and see the difference between your arms. So some of you will see a bigger difference than some others, okay? Okay, now you can go back to normal and sit down. Okay, so what happened here? How can we explain it? Whose arm was lower than the other? Can you lift your... Okay, so most of us, okay? It happened to most of us. And for you it didn't happen. Okay, so we'll see later maybe other things will happen, because as we'll explain later, we have different kind of modes, and even if when somebody is doing good with weight mode, somebody else will not do so good, but he will feel it in another way. So each and one of us has his own modality to express it. Okay, so what happened here? How can we explain it?
The brain can't distinguish between the feeling is the most important. If you feel the feeling, even if it's not real, your brain thinks it's real.
Okay, great.
The feeling is that you describe the heaviness.
Right.
You imagine it, so your body reacts.
Exactly. So the body, the brain reacts. We're describing heaviness, and then the body feels it. So the body really feels heavy. So the brain, sometimes it cannot differentiate between real and reality and imagination. And if it imagines something happens, it really happened, and it even affects our physiology, like we saw here. So many people are talking nowadays about mind and body connections, how they connect to each other, right? You're an expert on the subject, you give talk about that. So many people nowadays, they're more aware of that. Now many doctors are more aware that we're not only machines, but we have also some other factors that interact and affect us. And many people say, imagine it or dream about it and it will happen, but it's not so simple. It's not just saying, okay, let's imagine it and it will happen. You have to know exactly how to do it, and there are certain rules, and we need to learn a little bit the rules of the brain. So we'll talk a little bit about the rules of the brain and a little bit about what is hypnosis. But first of all, let's talk about what it is not, because many people have different kind of opinions about what is hypnosis. So let's talk about what it is not, and then we'll talk a little bit about what it is, and we'll do some more demonstrations. Okay, so the first thing is some people cannot be hypnotized. Is it true or false? Who thinks it's true? Lift their arm. Some people cannot be hypnotized, okay? And who thinks it's false? Okay, it's half and half, approximately. Okay, so this is not true. It's a natural state. Each and every one of us is in a hypnotic state every day. Every day. Pardon?
Can you define it? Like what is?
Yes, so after we'll talk what is not, we'll try to define it, okay? Try to, because it's a very complex subject, so we'll try to. So first of all, every day we are in an hypnotic state. When we daydream, before we fall asleep, in the morning when we wake up. Did it happen to you that you were driving and your thoughts were wandering and they went to another place and to another realm, and it's like your body was driving and you were not conscious, and then you arrived to a place, maybe it was even a different place than you planned to. Did it happen to you? So this is called driving hypnosis. So it happens to each and every one of us in different areas of our life. For me, for example, sometimes it's happening when we're doing a monotonous action like swimming. I was swimming in the pool, and in that time I was writing my thesis. So every time that I went out of the pool, I had a chapter of my thesis written in my mind, and I just went home and wrote it. So it can happen to every one of us, and everyone can be hypnotized. But we have 4 different degrees of depth of hypnosis. So we have the light one, okay, and then we have the mild one, the deep one, and the very deep. Only 20% of the people can enter the very deep. 20% can enter only the light one, and 60%, that's the most of us, can enter either the mild or the deep. So, who thinks they can be hypnotized? Raise your hand. Be careful, because I'm going to choose one of you as a volunteer. Okay. And who think they cannot be hypnotized? You think you cannot? And you think you cannot? You cannot. You think. Okay. So I would like to have one volunteer who thinks he can be hypnotized and one who thinks he cannot be hypnotized. So you two volunteering? Okay. Okay, come here. And you're volunteering for the person who can. Okay. So, okay, let's use this armchair, okay? So first of all, let's try it with you. What's your name?
Shwiya.
Shwiya?
Yes.
Okay. So take a seat here. Wait a minute, I'm taking my stuff. Okay. So I wanted to have a to demonstrate with my clock here. You know, hypnotic people or people who hypnotize, they use the clock, which is quite dramatic. We actually don't need that. We can use it with any kind of pendulum and so, but we'll use it this time. So are you right-handed or left-handed?
I'm right-handed.
Right-handed. Okay, so that's very good. Could you please put your elbow here on the table? Okay. So it will not.
Awkward shoulder.
Your shoulder is?
A frozen shoulder.
Frozen.
Yeah.
So will it be difficult for you if I ask you to put it like that?
If it's like this, I can.
Or maybe it's better here? Yeah? Okay. So let's just, if you can stand up. Okay. So now like this is, it's better, okay? So, okay. Just hang it here on this finger and hold it between those two. So it will only touch that finger. Nothing else will disturb it, okay? Okay, and hold it here. Very good. Okay, very good. Excellent. And I would like you to look very closely and very carefully and explain the people here what happens, okay? And tell them what you see. Okay, so now I want you to take a deep breath. Inhale and exhale very, very slow. Okay. Inhale from your nostrils and exhale very, very slow from your mouth. Very, very slow. Okay, and the third time, inhale and exhale. Okay, now I want you to focus on the watch here, okay? And I want you just to imagine that it's moving. You have to decide in which direction, whether it's from side to side or backwards and forward. Yeah? Okay, so just imagine and focus. The focus here is very, very important. So just focus on that direction only and imagine that it's moving that direction. So focus again and again and just imagine it. And slowly it will start to move in that direction. Focus more. Excellent. Was this the direction you were aiming? Yeah? Okay. So what did backward and forward? What do you see? Can you tell the people here? Because she sits like that, yeah? So backwards and forward. You want to see from here?
It does look backwards and forwards, yes.
Yeah.
Slightly diagonal, but
Yeah. So it's if you look from here, it's exactly backwards and forwards, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So can you try the other one from side to side? Just concentrate, focus, and say to yourself, side to side, from side to side. You have to concentrate and to breathe deeply. Great. Okay, very good. Continue. If you just close your eyes for a minute and concentrate, okay? So take a deep breath again from your nostrils. Excellent. Now exhale through your mouth. And still keep your eyes closed and imagine that the pendulum is moving from side to side. The watch is moving from side to side, okay? Just imagine that. And now open your eyes and focus on that. Just see and tell yourself from side to side. Okay, excellent. Do you see that? So let's try with another one, because I think this is a bit too heavy. So we have now, this is, if you succeed, you will get it as a present. Okay, this one I have I Optimind written on it, so it will remind you. Okay, so try with this one. And what you actually need to do, you did it backward and forward. And if you want to try to move it from side to side, okay? So concentrate like I do here, and just let it move from side to side, okay? See how it moves? So you can do it, okay? With this, with the right hand, right? And hold it here. This will be much easier because the other one is quite hard to do, okay? So just imagine from side to side. Okay? And focus and continue. Okay, what do you see now?
It is definitely moving from side to
Definitely. Great. You want to do something a bit harder? Try to move it in circles. So just imagine circles exactly. Great. More and more, just imagine a circle. So can you say it's a circle? It definitely. You want something even harder? Mm-hmm. Can you try a circle the other way around? Maybe you have to stop it, and then it will be easier just to imagine the other way around. You have to focus. Is it the other way around?
No.
It's the same way? Okay.
Oh, okay. I was making it go that way.
Okay, so
it
has to go now that way, right?
Okay.
That way is the other one. Okay. So just concentrate. Right. Okay. So imagine a bigger circle and a bigger circle. What do you see?
It's starting to go this
Yeah?
way. Yeah?
Okay.
The other way around, yeah.
Okay. And as she practices more, she will gain more, it will be better. Okay. So what's her name again?
Shwiya.
Shwiya, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, what's your name?
Benny.
So, Benny says he thinks he cannot do it, right? What do you think? You think he will be able to do it?
I believe in Benny.
So, okay, let's try. And now you will look and you will tell us what you see, okay? Are you also right-handed?
I'm also right-handed.
Right-handed,
Yes.
okay. So just hold it that way. You know, hang it here. Okay, great. And between those two fingers, okay. Okay. Now breathing. Breathing is very important here. Okay, just breathe through your nostril to your stomach. Try to breathe. Okay, great. And again, through your nostril. Just hold it for a minute, and then the out breath is very, very slow. Okay. So now concentrate, and now you choose. Okay, look at the pendulum here, and you choose whether you want to move it backwards and forwards or from side to side. Okay? So concentrate and focus, and just see it in the minds of your eyes. What do you see?
Backwards and forwards.
Right, this is what you're imagining? Backwards and forwards. So continue doing that. Yeah. Can you see that? Okay. So I think it's the same like yours, no? Even the same. Right. Okay. Start believing in yourself. Okay, so would you like to try from side to side? Exactly. Concentrate and imagine that. What do you see?
It's moving side to side.
Side to side. Do you see that? Okay, you want to try the circles?
It's very
started already.
strange because I'm not doing it.
It started immediately.
Yes, self-conscious.
So what do you see?
He's doing cycles.
Circles.
Counter.
Wow,
Not your call.
that's really circles, right? Isn't it? So do you want to try the most difficult one, from to the other side?
It's pretty quick.
I think he did it better than you, don't you think? Okay, so you must also receive
It's a very
no?
strange
This
sensation.
it's a strange sensation. What do you sense? Can you tell us?
Well, what happened is that first there was absolutely nothing, and it wasn't moving at all. And then, as you reinforced, say things stronger, I almost feel that my finger by itself goes and does this,
Mhm.
but I'm
But
not
you
actually
didn't
doing
see
it.
any movement,
There's
right?
a
You didn't
very
see any
strange-
movement.
Very strange disconnect between what happens here. There was a muscular sensation which was a surprise to me. So
Mhm.
it fed to me, oh, why is my finger moving it to the side?
Mhm.
So the question is, am I really doing it, or is it my mind doing it? So it's a very strange sensation, because I was
Exactly.
actually really trying to just keep it still and just think it.
Okay.
So
But you could see in the mind of your eyes, you could focus on from side to side. This is what you told yourself, right?
Yeah,
and this is what
absolutely.
actually happened.
Absolutely, every time. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you, and you can receive that as well. And that's yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So what actually happened here? How can we explain it?
The body
Is it a miracle? Is it a magic? Did they use some kind of party trick? What was it?
The body is a subconscious mind,
Mhm.
and that the subconscious mind moving it,
Right.
but doesn't move. It's manifested.
Okay. Right.
I think there is no magic. I think that they did move it with the thing. Like there was some muscular movement initiating this, but they were not thinking about moving the finger. They were thinking about like just this moving, and then the brain thinks, okay, so I think that this is moving, but my eyes send the signal that it's not moving. So there is a gap that needs to be closed.
Mm-hmm.
And what can I do? Like this is not normal because I think it's moving, but my eyes tell me that it's not. So maybe it's the subconscious. Like I have no idea. I don't know how it works and stuff. But like I think that there is a part of the brain that goes and says like, okay, how can I close this gap between what like the reality of what I see on what I think the reality is, and so it makes the finger move.
Okay.
Like that's my theory, but I have no idea.
Okay. By the way, I have, you don't know how it works. I also don't know exactly how it works. For 25 years I'm investigating it, and still it's a very vast world, and we don't know much more than we know. But we are finding out bits and bytes more. So, any other theory?
Something else.
Yes.
That the thoughts is basically we all energy, we're not matter.
Mm-hmm.
We are energy, and our thoughts have energy as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the energy of the thought is the one is moving.
Okay, the
Cause and
energy is
effect.
moving.
Yes.
It causes an effect, and right?
She's right, the idiomotor response. The thought precedes the action.
Exactly. It's called idiomotor response. And so what happens here is, of course, we have in our body, we have voluntary responses and involuntary responses, right? The voluntary responses, so we can control them voluntarily, yeah? If I will tell my finger to move, of course it will move, and of course this will move. But we have also involuntary muscles or responses. For example, what is involuntary?
Blinking.
Blinking, exactly. What else? Breathing, exactly. Just think, the subconscious regulate the breathing. Just think if you had to do it voluntarily or consciously. Breathe in, breathe out all the time. So this would be very tiring. Okay, what else?
Muscles like in the intestine.
Right, intestines, right. The intestines, they contract or they work. This is involuntarily. And also in our finger, we have those tiny nerves or muscles that when we think and we want to move it, so we are moving it, like if I'm thinking backwards and forward, but still you don't see any movement in my finger, right? And if I want to move it in a circle, it will move, but you don't see that I move the finger. So what can we do with it? For example, to help some medical issues, how can we use this idiomotoric phenomenon? What would you suggest?
Or you can start directing elements of your body that perhaps you didn't think you could direct.
Right. For example, what can we heal with that, or what can we improve? The heart. I think probably that's part of what helped me to heal my heart, because this is a muscle, and you can learn how to operate it, right? With your subconscious and with learning to affect involuntary muscles. Okay, what else can we do?
So if we can heal something that we have, does that mean that we also created it with our thoughts?
Yes.
Exactly. So many illness we create with our thoughts. And most of the time, it's our subconscious, because we're not aware of why. Because in the reality, in the conscience, of course we don't want to be ill. Of course we don't want to eat that cake because it's not healthy for me. And of course we don't want to smoke because we know it's not healthy. And of course we don't want to be ill. But sometimes we have reasons that are unknown to us, and they are subconscious. And the subconscious make links, make connections between things. For example, it connects eating a cake to a feeling of calmness, or to a feeling of love, okay? Because we linked those things long ago when we were children, for example, or we were unaware where did it happen. Or sometimes, illness can happen because, for example, we saw our mother or somebody in the family was hypochondriac, or somebody didn't get attention. He was the middle child and he wanted to draw attention to himself. So by being ill all the time or feeling not well, he could get the attention. So there are lots of reasons. So we create also illness unconsciously, and we can also heal illness using the subconscious, like we can change habits and so on. So I think we would have the small break now, and you can have 15 minutes, and then we will go back and talk some more.